Conversation is a totally alternative interview series with women who have a story or experience to share. Relationships, sex, kids, career. We're basically talking about the universal language of women.
You get home after a 14, 15-hour day and it's like, Mama, let's play. And I'm like... Definitely work ethic was something drilled into me from a very early age. I mean, my father was working 3 jobs and going to medical school. My mom was 100% focused on me. My parents came here, they were working as housekeepers. There was no toilet cleaner and shinier in all of Beverly Hills than the ones that my mom scrubbed, okay? Because if she was gonna do it, even though she was a movie star in Russia, she was gonna be the best. And that's where passion comes in. That it doesn't matter what you do it with all your heart and all your soul. And you know that once you leave, they go, wow, we want that person back. We can't live without that person. That's how amazing they were.
You are a product of someone who has worked tirelessly and endlessly to master the art of each of the areas that you've excelled in.
People definitely have said, you know, oh gosh, you do so many things and that's a very Renaissance quality. I always found that I was just kind of confused for the most part my whole life, and always knew that I had something I wanted to express. But because I started working so young, I was 9 when I started taking acting classes and auditioning and all that. And pretty much my mom taught me what she knew. So, you know, us coming as immigrants to this country with nothing, it was like, how do we get me started as quickly as possible? So I kind of got thrown into a career that potentially,
wasn't
who knows what I would have wanted to be if I would have been left to my own devices, you know? So I almost felt my whole life a little bit like trying to find what I loved. And so I knew that I wanted to express myself, and I knew my first love was illustration. I always loved to draw. And that's where the design element came. It kind of came full circle, but going, acting, I don't know, and then music kind of was very inspiring for me.
It's okay to not know what you want to do. Not everyone is born with like, I must do this thing.
My daughter's name is Ever. I go, Ever, I love you, but Mama does have to leave. Why? Because you're working all the time. I go, not just because I'm working, because I love what I'm doing. And it's important because women have not had the chance to be what they want to be for very long, Ever. And you're gonna understand how important it is for women to work and to be the best.
It's not a job when you love it so much.
So like, how do you help young people find what they love?
That's the big question.
That's the question.
By exposing people to all the variables.
And not watching TV while you're exposing them to it, right?
That's true.
Being like, here's a bunch of really educational, cool stuff. Check you later.
And by the way, unfortunately, a lot of schools do not have the funding to expose a lot of kids to the arts or to science. So there's generations of kids growing up without even knowing that these things are out there.
Well, I think that for me, education starts at home. I mean, for sure, you know, it's something that's so important for us to read and to talk. And, you know, when I see something that is interesting for me, I point it out to her and talk about, look at this rock, and do you see these lines? And each line tells a story. Like, what do you think that meant? Because that could have been a big explosion, and that's why it's red. And then what do you think that white line means on top? Was there like a big ice storm? And we'll make up stories of what happened, you know, but it's so important to let your kids in on your own passion, but then allow them to figure it out on their own.
So what are the other things that you have learned from your own childhood?
If there's nothing behind that pretty face of yours, it's only going to take you through the door. And that's what my mom always taught me was, you've been blessed with a pretty face that's going to get you through many doors. But what's going to keep you there? What's going to keep you once you've gotten through those doors? What's going to make people interested in you? Because once you say hi and people get over that you're pretty, then what?
When you say education, what do you mean specifically
by
that?
Well, like, for instance, I'll get a Twitter thing. I want to be a model. And I go, do you want to be a model or you just want to look like one? Because if you really want to be a model,
go study photography.
Yeah, I want to know who are your 10 top photographers that you want to work with. Why? What's their lighting? Why is Stephen Meisel's lighting different from Craig McDean's lighting?
Right.
Why did they use different makeup artists? What is a different makeup artist style?
And the
Who's your
stylist,
favorite?
yeah.
Who's the best stylist? All these things that my mom took the time. Before I worked with Richard Avedon, you don't think I looked through America West and looked through all those books, and she had me seeing who I was working with. When I was working with Scavullo or Herb Ritz or any of these people, she would educate me to go, this is how they work, this is what they do. And so when I came in,
You knew what was expected of you too.
and also I could talk to them and be
Yeah.
like, oh, I really loved that thing. Dickie, I really loved America West.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And he's like looking at this 11-year-old who's like holding a picture of like a dead sheep going, this is really cool.
What is your biggest vice?
Smoking.
What would you tell your 14-year-old self?
Calm down, you know. On the one hand, and then do your thing. Like, it's your job to break the rules and my job to keep the bars strong.
What is your favorite sex position?
My favorite sex position?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Well, I mean, do I have to only pick one?
No, you can pick whatever you want.
I mean, I guess it's like whatever room is like, we can find the most comfortable place, because my husband and I don't have sex in bed because we share a family bed with our daughter. So we always have to get creative. So we always end up in a closet, on a shelf, you know, like in the pantry.
So you
with
have
the
many
pasta,
positions. Yeah.
You know, like in the
A threesome
laundry
with the
room,
pasta.
you know, like bent over the laundry table kind of thing. Lala Loopsy and Barbie and I'm like, yes, we want to have a tea party. Let's go. And the best name for a band, by the way.
What is it?
The line in the song is, they call me Muffin Lady, but I don't care.
Muffin Lady.
And I was like, Muffin Lady, what a genius name for a band.